Hi, thank you for joining us for this episode of Candid Conversations. Today we're speaking with Carrie Bland, who started her career as a certified professional nanny over a decade ago by attending the former English nanny and governess school. She has worked with children from newborn through preteen years and truly enjoys the deep connections that she's made with each and every one that has been in her care. Some of her passions include sharing about the importance of water safety and survival skills, mentoring the next generation of nannies, and building the in-person community where she's located in Indianapolis by planning and hosting nanny events like Playdates and the annual National Nanny Training Day. Since becoming a mum in late 2020, she has shared her personal experience and journey as a nanny mum on social media at Carrie the Nanny on Instagram, as well as multiple podcasts and other online media outlets. Most recently, she co-presented the Nanny Mum Conversation at the 2022 Nanny Palooza and is looking forward to continuing and expanding the conversation at the 2023 INA conference. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Today we have Carrie with us. And Carrie, why don't you tell us about your background? I know you trained to become a nanny.
Yeah, hi everybody. So I became a nanny almost 12 years ago now. I started off going to a training program. The school's no longer open anymore, but it was in Cleveland, Ohio. And it was kind of like a trade school, 3 months long, 5 days a week, did, infant and child development and art and music and literature and, just different. It was geared towards people, nannies of like all experience levels. Mm-hmm. So like we had like practicum families that we would do like newborn care, like infant baths and things like that. Like if you had only worked with 8-year-olds, right. Say, or, whatever. So, so that was kind of like what kickstarted my, career. And they had a placement program there. So I found 2 wonderful families through them. And then I relocated after I was with one family for a year and another family for 5.5 years. And then I relocated with my husband after we got married. And I've been with a couple families here. And my current family I've been with for 2 years now.
Fantastic. And now I know you have a passion for nannies who are mums.
Yes.
And I know that nannies can be mums and mums can be nannies, but why is it so important to you to bring it to the forefront of our industry?
I think it's just something that either has happened a lot, like kind of, not necessarily behind closed doors, but just hasn't been like, I guess maybe broadcasted like on social media as much. And I think like since 2020, like a lot of nannies have taken to social media to find community, share their art projects, recipes, whatever. And so I kind of just naturally started sharing about being a mom and bringing, my child with me, with my family that I was with. And, obviously we talked about all the different details and everything. And I was pregnant when I started with them. So the jig was kind of up. I didn't have to my pregnancy to them. But yeah, so I kind of just started sharing about it more and more, and then networking. And, I know we connected at Nanny Palooza, and Courtney and I, co-presented with Reagan also the Nanny Mom Conversation. And that was really kind of like the Kickstarter for the speaking, events about it, like publicly. We're actually going to be presenting again a continued conversation at the International Nanny Association conference in May. And she's actually presenting at NannyCon in the UK on another branch of the topic. And we've had like a virtual nanny mom breakfast club. So it's like to build community, and it's really kind of just keeps going.
Fantastic. And what are some of the struggles that you see or hear from nanny mums?
So it seems to be a lot of it is the big thing is, well, your kid's coming with you, so how do I know that your kid isn't going to take all of your attention, or, different things like that. And that is a valid concern, like for, especially like if you're a new mom, I mean, you're adjusting to parenthood and, nursing or bottle feeding or being up all night or whatever, because you're like doing the 24/7 care now and not just going to work and coming home. And I say just lightly because that still is a lot to do. But I think that's one of the big concerns. And the thing that like I try to emphasize a lot is like, we are trained, experienced, we like choose to be nannies. And oftentimes we work for families with multiple children, and our child just kind of becomes one of the bunch. At least that's my experience. Like he's just part of the crew, my guy. And, when he comes home, then he's an only child. So he definitely gets all the attention he needs at home. But yeah, it's been great. I'd say other like big concerns would possibly be like car situations. Like if a nanny car is not provided and the nanny uses her car, or his car. There is a nanny in the UK that I know of, who has a 4-year-old daughter, I think. But anyway, so I don't think he brings her with him though. But car size, car seats, third row, second row, like what's going to fit in the car. And so that's a big thing, that can come up. But again, it's not always that a nanny wants to bring their child with them to work. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that like maybe they're a parent, but then the family could be like, well, are you going to be taking off more sick days? Are you going to be, having to do all this and, taking away from your like attention on this family? And, but I mean, nannies have lives too, whether they're biological parents, foster parents, taking care of a niece or nephew, like, I mean, a parent, a grandparent, there's so much.
And you could be a nanny without a child and still be exposed to lots of germs and bring them to work, or get sick a lot and miss a lot of work. So it's not, it's not just because you have a child that's the issue.
Right.
And do you feel that communication is the best way to overcome these obstacles, or are there other things that are needed to help overcome the obstacles?
I think having like the contract boundaries, like guidelines set up so you each know like what's to be expected, whether it's, the hours or the sick days or, doctor's appointments and things like that. Like, having maybe a couple extra vacation days or, personal days in your contract would help to schedule out, your tiny humans doctor's appointments, yes, or things that you need to do. But still, like, I mean, my employer and we check in weekly, just because that's how our communication is. I mean, I always try to have like more of a formal sit down annually, but I mean, we talk about things every week. We check in how the kids are doing, how we're each doing, just with different things as we've transitioned, like, into me bringing my child, because the youngest one that they have is 5 months older than my son. So she was like still, postpartum period when I was having mine. And, so we've had a lot of things to, talk about. But we've, made it through.
And how do you think agencies can help? Because I see a lot of nannies who are parents on Facebook groups saying, X agency won't work with me because I want to bring my child, or, I can't find a job because I have a child. And it's sad to see.
It is. And I think one of the biggest ways that, if you're a nanny who wants to bring your child with you, or, want to someday or whatever, I think honestly, like the word of mouth positions seem to be most accepting of that. I know a lot of agencies, like not all of them, but definitely some of them work with the higher profile families or families who require travel or things like that. And that can be difficult to, navigate scheduling. But also something that I've learned recently in talking with the agencies is that, at least this one specifically, is that their insurance that they have for like placing the nanny with the family, the insurance won't cover the child. So that is like some sort of actual like, legal debacle, I guess,
Yeah.
hurdle that needs to get over. So I don't know then if that's like a problem with the insurance companies or what, but this particular agency owner did say that, like, if they place a nanny with the family and then the nanny has a child while they're in under that employment, and then the family agrees to it, they're kind of like out of the loophole then, but they cannot place a family or place a nanny with her child with the family, which I thought was interesting because I didn't realize that it got to like that level of things. I thought it was just,
Yes, it's interesting. I mean,
I thought it was just, not like, what is the word I'm thinking of? You know, promoting it to parents, like explaining it to parents, being like, these are the benefits and all these different things. Because while there can be, some negatives, if you look at them that way, there are a ton of benefits, like the socialization aspect and, just a whole bunch of different things.
and you've touched on a little bit on this about how do you respond to parents who say, you're a nanny, you're bringing your child, and my child won't have your full attention. Are there any other like issues that really resonate with parents who are considering hiring a nanny who's also a mum?
I think it's mostly just the, is my child going to be focused on because they're the ones, that I'm paying you to watch, which, I definitely agree. And like, I give all of the children in my care at that time, whether it's my child or my other 3 nanny kids, like they are all getting as much attention from me as necessary, like at the time with, going outside or independent play or lunchtime or whatever it is. But like, if something's going on, I'm like processing who actually needs me first. Like I'm not automatically going to go to my son first. It's whoever
Yes.
has the most, important need at that time. So like, I think that's probably just like the biggest thing. And, I mean, I know I talked to somebody and like, they said their employer was feeling stressed that their child, was taking away from their kid, like their child wasn't napping correctly. And they were like, well, you can't go, help them because you have your child. And this nanny was like, well, no, it's okay. Like I am capable of multitasking with these children and getting them to sleep, getting them to eat on time, just all those different things.
Is it hard to like match up the different schedules? Because obviously, you have a child, your child is on a schedule that works for you, and then all of a sudden you accept this position with a family and their schedule might be completely the opposite to yours.
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate that?
I think that has a lot to do with just like interviewing the family as well, as like they interview you, like even with no children, involved, like just like core beliefs, like what's your schedule, what's your parenting style, what's your discipline style, like things like that. So that kind of goes back to that, I feel like. So I'll just say for me personally, like we thrive on like a flexible routine situation, like especially like in his earlier days. It was like he was going to be napping between this time and this time, in a 15-minute window, or, eating, about this time if he woke up at this time, kind of things like that. So it was pretty much structured the same every day, whether we were, at my nanny families or at home. But I think like, where am I thinking? What am I thinking? but I think that has helped me, and that works out well, for my nanny family as well. Every day is generally the same but looks different, and like I'm that type of nanny anyways, where like if we're going to go on an adventure in the morning and we can't make it home for nap, we're going to do a car nap, like just because they have to have their nap, and I'm not going to be rolling the windows up and down for, a half hour to get back from the zoo or something like that.
Yeah, I get it. All right. And how can parents or employers help? I mean, other than being open about what their concerns are and talking to the nannies, how can they help?
I think like not just like, opening up or like, voicing their concerns and things like that, but just like opening up their mind to like the possibilities of like this bonus awesome playmate that, you know, either their child could have or, you know, grow up with. I've talked to nanny moms who have different age children. Like I know one was she was working with a family for a while and had a baby, and so her baby was like the younger sibling for the big kids, and this child just grew up with them, and the big kids learned empathy, responsibility, you know, like how to help with the baby, like that kind of stuff. You know, mine are close in age, at least the toddlers are. I have two bigger girls too. But they're in school, so it's mostly toddler time right now. But yeah, so like that has been nice because it's like they're learning together. Especially because of the just little age difference. It's like he was always trying to catch up to my nanny kid, like when she was crawling and walking and, you know, everything else. So that was really kind of fun to watch and see. And I think like one of the big things too is that, you know, the nanny family may want to pay less. Yes, because you're bringing your child with you, because like you don't have to pay for childcare. Valid point. But it is not like, we are still coming in as professional nannies with training, experience, degrees, certifications, you know, whatever has brought you, you know, throughout this career. So like you stand, you know, strong on like what your worth is. And then like, honestly, the right nanny family will see your child as an added benefit if this is something that you want to see, and or if that you want to happen. And it can definitely take a little bit longer, you know, to find the right fit. But, you know, even again, if you don't have a child, sometimes it takes a while to find the right fit.
It does. And, you know, you shouldn't, as a nanny in general, you shouldn't just take the first position that somebody offers you. You should make sure that you are, you know, they are ticking all of your boxes just as much as you are ticking all of their boxes, because otherwise it won't be a long-lasting relationship.
Yes, exactly. And like one that, you know, either long-lasting employment-wise or long-lasting, like still being connected to them, you know, like afterwards, if that's the kind of, you know, route that you normally take. I definitely, I've learned a lot in the last couple of years. I took a couple positions where I was like, I need a job. And then I was like, but then, you know, you bond with the kids and things like that. And then it gets, you know, kind of sticky there. So definitely don't do that.
It's very personal because you're invested in that child somehow.
Yeah.
It's time, or if it's love, or if it's whatever it is, but you're invested in that child and you just don't want to get up and leave.
Yes.
Even though, you know, it's probably the best thing for you to do.
Right.
So I know you also touched on the different conferences. If nannies want to reach out to you, or if nanny mums want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you, and how can they listen to you talk about this topic?
Yeah. So I mostly network and am on like the Instagram of the social media pages. So I'm at Carrie the Nanny. I also have a website, carriethenanny.com. So those are probably the easiest ways to, you know, reach, get a hold of, see what, if there's a, you know, a virtual nanny mom breakfast club coming up, if there's a, you know, Instagram chat that we're doing, like I mentioned Courtney before, and she's at everything_Courtney. And so she and I both kind of tag team these things. And again, like, so I said, we're presenting at the INA together. And so that's kind of, you know, probably the best places. But yeah, I'm always, you know, willing to answer messages and all that kind of stuff too. So, well, I'm there a lot more than I need to be. My word of the year this year is like, I'm trying to like time manage more. So I'm trying to like section off, you know, where I'm not distracted, you know, from real life and stuff. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
I'm sure you're a great resource to nannies who are, you know, mums. And now that you are out there and everybody knows about you, not everybody, but a lot of people have heard about you, and a lot more will hear about you. You will be probably a lot more on your phone than you want to be, but it's
Yes.
the way, it's the way it goes.
Yeah, still trying to delegate, like different time to different things. And like I do I do offer some like nanny mentoring on my website. So that's something that I like, have sectioned off time for. Which has been really nice to get to know people. I launched the website just 6 months ago, so it's been nice to chat with some people on there and yeah, just like make new connections.
That's
Like
it.
with you.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We met at Nanny Palooza and we'll see each other again at INA.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, is there anything else you would like to add that you think is important for nanny mums or nanny dads?
Honestly, I think just, you know your child best and you know what kind of nanny you are. And really, like, if that is your ultimate goal to, bring your child with you, or even just have a nanny family that is supportive of you being a human being who wants to grow your life, I mean, even some nanny families have issues with nannies who have dogs. I've come across, because like they require care and things, so it's not all humans. But yeah, I think just taking the time to really make sure you're getting all of your points across and being as clear as you possibly can be, so there's no like questions about where your attention lies, or anything like that. Like, you're a professional nanny, you want a position, you do or do not want to bring your child, or you want that option someday. I mean, that's also a good thing to be upfront about. And the families that care about you as a whole, like wouldn't have a problem with that. So
I think that's great advice for all nannies in general. I mean, go in knowing what it is that you want to get across and make sure that you're clear about it.
yes.
Child or no child, dog or no dog, then you've said what you need to say, and if they're happy with it, great, and if they're not, then it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for chatting with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again at INA.
Yes.